What about this?
We are live, guys. Wonderful. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for being with Everything Jersey City's Season of Giving so we could talk about all the wonderful things that each of you are doing here in Jersey City and the way that Jersey City residents can help and move your initiatives forward. So it's such a pleasure to have you all on here. Thank you so much for coming in. Here we go. So you guys can take a moment to share this onto your Facebooks. And when you're ready, we'll get started. All right, perfect. So first of all, for anyone who is just tuning in and just needs a little background on Everything Jersey City and what we're all about, we are a organization, website and .com here in Jersey City, and we focus on the good of Jersey City. We really love to shine a light on people in Jersey City who are spearheading movements and getting things done in Jersey City and maybe don't get that mainstream media attention that they really deserve. So we really like to shine a light on those types of stories. So if that's for you, then you are in the right place. So I'd love to start off with a couple of introductions. We have Beverly Savage here with Hudson County CASA, which is court-appointed special advocates for foster children. Go ahead, I will hand the microphone over to Beverly to tell us a little bit about her organization.
Well, thank you so much, Leslie. It's really a pleasure to be here, and it's so nice of you to put this night together. We work with children in foster care. We are appointed by the family court to their cases. And actually, the work is done by volunteers. We have community volunteers who are assigned to a case of a child or a family. And our goal is to find those children a safe and permanent home. And sometimes that doesn't happen, unfortunately, but we really work as hard as we can to ensure that they have everything they need and that we help move the case along. We make recommendations to the judges. We work hand in hand with the division, with the children's attorneys, and with all the community providers who help these kids. And last year we served 261 kids. And about a quarter of our kids are under the age of 3, and about a quarter of our children are teenagers. And we have some large family groups. 70% of the kids we serve are from Jersey City, and that's our largest office. And, there's just a lot that can be said about being a child in foster care. But I'm going to leave the introductions to other people because I know that we're working with very, very similar and overlapping populations. And it's great of you to bring us all together here tonight. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'd like to introduce Monica Shaw with Triangle Park Community Center, located here in Jersey City in Greenville. Monica, welcome. Oh, you're muted, Monica.
Sorry. Thank you very much, Leslie, for having me be a part of showcasing what we try to do here on the Greenville community of Triangle Park. We're right across the street from the Ferris Triangle Park, which actually is slated to have a remodeling done. Hopefully it will be done by the spring of 2021, and the many children of the community will be able to partake and do many wonderful programs there and activities that we are trying to sponsor. The Triangle Park Community Center is the mission of the Episcopal Jersey City, which comprises of 2 main churches, Grace Van Voorst Church and St. Paul's Episcopal and Incarnation Church on Duncan Avenue. Mm-hmm. Many of the parishioners and many volunteers, they come together to help the community in Greenville that's very much in need. We are open from Monday to Friday from 10 to 4 p.m. We give out food We have a food pantry on the third Saturday of every month, as well as we have clothing, softly used clothing that we put out on a daily basis. We provide moms in need with diapers and formula. And we do a lot of different activities. I love doing functions. So if it's not giving health advice, giving financial advice, doing activities for kids, we run a tutoring, and we are currently doing SAT prep, which we have over 5 high school students, high schools that are part of it. We have about 25 students that are part of the SAT prep, because we want to encourage education as well as, you know, fun and nurturing to our families. So if anyone wants to volunteer with us, they can call us at the center on our number. They can go to the website, or they can just stop by and visit us. We would love to have you.
Awesome. Wonderful. I also would like to introduce Tatiana Smith, who just joined us. Hi,
Hi.
Tatiana. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. So Tatiana, you run the West Side Community Refrigerator, and it actually sparked a lot of other community refrigerators here in Jersey City. So I just wanted you to really quickly just say a couple of words about what is a community refrigerator, and what is going on in West Side at yours.
Sure. So briefly, a community refrigerator, they've been around for a few years now, but mainly during the coronavirus epidemic, community fridges have popped up around New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago. And I saw those community fridges, and I wanted to start something in Jersey City. So I basically just scoured the web for a fridge, a commercial fridge, and I plugged it into my house, and I filled it with food. And I got some help from people in New York City, and they started filling in the food, and then it just really picked up to where other people started contributing food and contributing money to buy food. And then organizations and restaurants, they contribute food as well. So the fridge is open all day, every day. And there's no restrictions. I don't ask for identification. Anyone's free to come, and anyone is free to take.
Absolutely, right? And everything Jersey City, we talked to you when it first started, and something that you always said was it's mutual aid. It's something for the community by the community.
Yeah, so it's definitely, it's not charity. I try to really get to people to understand that charity, there's something about charity where there's power structure. So when people think of charity, they think that they are in a better situation and they're giving to someone less fortunate. But when you speak in those types of dynamics, then there is a power dynamic that kind of blinds you to the world around you, and it blinds you to what you can do for your neighbor. You don't know who is needy and who is not. And everybody can need something at any point in their lives. And so when we remove that barrier of charity, it really opens it up to everyone who wants to give and everyone who wants to receive. So it's definitely about mutual aid and neighbors helping neighbors.
You're muted.
Sorry. Well, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Tatiana.
Thank you.
I would also like to introduce Reverend Keon Jackson with Black Men United. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. I guess basically Black Men United is a brotherhood and anti-racist coalition who is working to build a stronger Black community in Jersey City. We foster Black male leadership, activism, education, community service. We're a mutual aid group, so we aid other organizations through volunteering, through workshops. We just started a branch of anti-racism and diversity training for churches and nonprofit organizations. And we work with primarily with the Got Love Foundation and Wealth Kitchen, which helps pay rent for those in need in the Hudson County community.
Gotcha. Amazing. Thank you so much. And then also I would love to introduce Councilman James Solomon and Councilwoman Mira Prince Array. Thank you guys both so much for being here tonight. You guys are here promoting the same initiative. So what a pleasure to have you both on tonight. One of you can tell us about the holiday card for the seniors program that you guys are spearheading right now.
Sure. You want to go ahead? Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, I was actually, well, this actually all started during the beginnings of the pandemic. So Councilman, I know that one of your residents had sent you the suggestion. So I'll let you start it off and then I'll wrap it up. How's that?
Sure. Yeah. So Sarah Ordway, who lives in the Harsmas Cove neighborhood, I think she was just thinking about the social isolation that everybody was experiencing during the height of the pandemic, but particularly for seniors who were at greater risk and, were, not leaving the house potentially at all and not losing contact with family, friends, caregivers, and what were ways we could reach out safely. And so she thought of the idea of us organizing folks to send cards to them. So that's how the idea originated. And I can pass it off to Councilman Prince Array.
Yep. And so when I know in my ward, there are over 2,300 seniors that were on the list that I had received to send cards to. And that's a goodly amount of people to reach and touch. And one of the things that was so great about the project earlier in the year was a lot of kids got involved. So you had a lot of really great drawings, and they were able to connect to somebody that they maybe didn't know, but to kind of also help them understand COVID in a different way. And then when the holidays came around, and we knew that we were going into the second wave, and it's, it's darker earlier. Some of the seniors are not going to be able to be with their family members this year. So we felt that it was even more important to bring it back. And to spread a little bit of joy and just to, let people know that we're all in this together and we're all thinking about each other, even if we can't see each other.
Absolutely. And I remember when that initiative started in the beginning of the pandemic, and it was wonderful. And I'm so glad that you guys are continuing to do this into the holiday season, especially. So thanks so much for that. And thanks so much for joining us tonight. All right. So I do want to get into how Jersey City can specifically help and donate either money or their time to each of your organizations. But before we do that, I just had a couple of questions that I thought we could just discuss as a group. You guys being at the forefront of everything I'm about to speak about, I think it's just really important to have these shared ideas and conversations. So my first question for you guys, and please, I'm not going to call in anyone. If you feel compelled to speak up, just please go ahead and speak your mind. But my first question is, do you feel that the need for donations and charitable giving has increased from past years, or is it just something that's being more recognized this year because people can maybe pay attention a little more or see beyond maybe their hurried life?
I would say that it's, people have begun to kind of take a step back and look at the bigger picture. It also helps that because people don't have that, they have the people who do have disposable income, they're not going out and shopping in ways that they were before the pandemic. And so they're thinking of ways that they want to use that money. Those who have, they're thinking of ways to use that money. So in that way, that type of donation is more visible, I would say.
Absolutely. Anyone else?
Yeah, I concur with that. Because I mean, I would say it's a mixture of both. I think certainly charitable donations are becoming noticed, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't happening pre-pandemic. But I will also say that particularly for the wealthier folks, they are not using that money in the same way that they were before. And because of the civil uprisings that are happening, they are being or they're allowing themselves to be more educated on different types of issues that affect different communities differently. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else?
Yes, I would like to add, for me, I see that because of the COVID-19, people that are better or well off, we're finding different ways to reach out. This COVID-19 has opened people's hearts, and we've been able to be more creative. Especially like the work that Tatiana Smith is doing. Like doing the refrigerator. We're finding different ways in which we can help each other. I mean, I work in the Greenville area, and these people, we are not able to purchase basic necessities like furniture. So I'm finding I partnered with someone in Hoboken, where Hoboken seems to be a lot of people have a lot of furniture. So I'm able to link up people who need a bed frame with people who do have a bed frame, people who have a table, because it is so basic needs that money that they would use for a bed set, now that money they can actually pay their rent. So finding creative ways in which we can help each other, I found that has been amazing. My center, I mean, I have people that come that, I mean, the lights are going out, and my pastor, Pastor Tom Murphy, he's like, Monica, bring them to me. We find the money. We find different resources in which to meet the needs. And these are people, family members that have a lot of pride, who necessarily would not come to me, but because I've built a type of relationship with them, that they will tell me that, Monica, I'm in need of this. I'm in need of that. I get to hear a lot of personal information about individuals that they necessarily will not share with me. And that's how we're able to reach out in a very creative way.
Yes, absolutely. Anyone else?
I think it's been extraordinary what people have done during the pandemic. I think that the isolation, the tragedies that people have experienced have heightened their awareness of suffering and need. And there are 1 million people in New Jersey who are not getting enough food. 300,000 of them are children. And we know a lot of them are here in Jersey City. And I think that there's just been an awareness of need. They're all home. They're all, doing their own cooking, their own laundry. They're trying to figure it out every day, trying to help their kids in school. And it's just made people more sensitive. And I've just seen extraordinary things happen. I think one of the best things that would come to Jersey City, Monica, it's what you hit on. If we could get some kind of a reuse and recycling and donation center where people could make connections. I almost feel like I need to have someone in charge of donations in my office. We get so many offers. We have a big connection to the Hoboken community, and here everybody has children. They live in small apartments or condos, and the kids outgrow their clothes every 3 months. And they are, I'm constantly connecting people, but that's not my official job. We all do it in my office. But there could be some kind of, some resource or some kind of center in Jersey City that would make these connections, because there are good people in Hudson County who want to give, and there are people in Hudson County who need it. And it goes the whole length of the county. It's not just Jersey City, but Jersey City is a special place, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that we could really do something if somebody wanted to start a program or get a grant to do that. You need some space. That's the problem. We don't have at CASA. We don't have space. And I think that, and to keep clothes for people, you need sizes. We can't go into a family with a pair of pajamas for the 6-year-old. We need a pair for the 10-year-old. And I may not have that size. So the other thing is fairness. We always try really, really hard to have something for every child. You can't just go in and say, oh, this is for you because you need it. No,
Right.
It doesn't work that way. Everybody needs something.
Everyone.
Absolutely.
So it's a challenge, but it's a lot of possibility there. There's a really, really great group of people who could pull this off. And I don't know if that's you, Tatiana, because you had a brilliant idea. But it's, I think it's a good idea. I don't have the bandwidth to implement it right now, but I think we could do something.
Well, I think that is a big part of the conversation we're having today, stating these needs that we feel could maybe be used in Jersey City. And, maybe someone who's listening has some space. So if you have some space, reach out to us.
I will say, that's my most difficult thing. People are always asking me, and I've already donated dedicated a part of my living room. I've turned it into a makeshift
Mhm.
pantry. So I'm holding a lot of like excess food and also excess clothes for children and
Mhm.
in my living room. But my house is turning into like this distribution center. So I mean, if I could kind of get that kind of space, because ultimately what we're working on is a free store. And I've had the free stores from time to time, but I'm working on developing the free store where people can go in and basically buy what they want, but it's free. You know, because I have moms and parents that like need specific diapers or they need a specific
Yes.
formula. So I'll have those things and they'll directly contact me and then I'll give that to them. But I need another system. I'm building right now another system so that people can order those things and get them, because there are people who are giving me those things and I need to get it to the right people. So, but the space is an issue.
That's exactly it, Tatiana. It's having the space. You also need some trucks.
Oh, yes.
Last week, who was really interested in helping us, and she gave us some stuff for teenagers. It was great, but she wanted to give me 2 couches. And it was sort of like she thought I had a truck. I was like, sure, I'll be over with my truck in a minute. We'll have movers and they'll move these couches. And, you know, she really wanted to help someone. They were in great condition, but I couldn't handle that. So it's like,
Well, now you know Monica might take it off your hands.
I think this is great. Absolutely. I made some suggestions. Then she wrote me back and said, what can I do with them? And so I talked about Salvation Army, but I think, yeah, there's a real need for this. It wouldn't take a lot. You also probably need some insurance if you're going to be hauling around heavy furniture with people. But,
Absolutely.
It's
Well, moving on to my next question, which is kind of you guys perfectly leading me, and especially Monica with what you were saying about, and Tatiana talking about, the people, the basic needs that people are needing. My next question is, we are finding more and more that the perception of those in need does not have a specific face. So as hard times can fall on anyone at any time, like, do you have any stories to share where you came to realize this, like firsthand, seeing that, those needs don't have a specific face? We can't point out, on the street, this person is in need anymore because of the pandemic.
Well, I would say like one instance, I thought that if there was a city worker coming to like reprimand me for the fridge, and it was just a woman getting eggs. And it's happened to me a few times when they were just coming to get food, and I thought that I was like getting in trouble. I'm like, oh no, they're coming to. But so I've had to like really, like change my perception and say, this is everyone that can come. And one of the things too that I tell people when they come, I tell people, look, I take things from the fridge. So like just the other day, I meant to get some oatmeal. I forgot to get oatmeal, and someone happened to leave oatmeal. And they were just the type of oats that I like, and they left it. And I didn't ask for it, it was just there. So I tell people, like, if there's something that you need, take it. You don't need to be needy, or you don't need to look like a homeless person, like whatever a homeless person looks like. Because remember, there are a lot of houseless people who just, they save from friend to friend. They're essentially homeless. They, may dress in professional clothing. They may look like you and I, but they are homeless. And so that's the type of people that I see every single day. I see them all the time. There's all kinds of people that come to the fridge. So I just I try to like level set and say, look, I take it from the fridge. This is my home, but I take from the fridge. So you shouldn't feel bad about taking from the fridge, because this fridge is for everybody. It's for the community. It's the West Side community fridge.
Absolutely. And I've been at your refrigerator before and heard you tell someone, no,
Yeah.
take more, take this. Do you need this? Take this. So I know for a fact you are making sure that people are taking as much as they need.
Right,
So-
right. Because they'll just be filled. Somebody else will bring. And then, a lot of times the people will donate and then they'll be like, oh, I needed that spice. And they'll take this, oh, I needed some oil, by the way. And let me just take that oil. And they'll be donating a bunch of stuff and they'll come and see, oh, I needed something. So they'll take it. And it just kind of just takes away that whole stigma of, I'm a needy person and
Right.
I'm coming in this charity. And it just takes away that whole barrier.
Mhm.
Uh,
Anyone else have an
yeah.
experience like that?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's this lady who is a judge at my church. She's a judge in Long Island. Um, and I mean, this woman drives a Mercedes, and if you are looking for someone that you think has it, she would have it. And we were giving out groceries by Thanksgiving time, and she came by, and I thought she was there to volunteer. So I said, "Oh my God, here's gloves, here's a face shield. The line is over there." She's like, "Pastor Keon, no, I need about 4 or 5 bags for myself." And that showed me that this pandemic didn't care who you were, where you got your degrees from, what you did, who you were married to. It literally, I think, shifted, particularly America, very differently than it did the rest of the globe, especially just our own capitalistic makeup. I mean, it impacted everybody. So yeah.
That's a great example as well. Does anyone else have that kind of experience?
Well, my experience, I'm in the Greenville area of Jersey City, and the majority of the population on the demographics that I serve um, happen to be African American and Latino. But recently, we have had an increase of Middle Eastern immigrants in the area. And a lot of them, you know, that they don't, I just started recently seeing them 6, 8 months ago, but they come from large families and a lot of children. And so, I think that the demographics has changed, has shifted, has widened, in the area. So it's not just because you say, oh well, we are majority, Blacks or Hispanics in there. There's so much more. And, even besides the demographics, is you have young men that are at risk, and we need to worry about them. I know Beverly was talking about how usually for the holidays it's easy to find toys for younger kids, but it's much more difficult. We kind of forget about the teenagers, and it's so true, because I just did a toy drive, and I make it a point to ask for things for the teenagers, because it's true. They don't want they don't want a baby doll. They want maybe a gift certificate. So I emphasize to get like 20 to 30 $25 gift certificates, so that those teenagers are able to buy their own things. They want to shop online. I happen to have two teenagers, so I know they kind of tell me, they keep me hip to what's going on.
And pick out their own things.
So we just always have to be mindful what demographics, what age group is being missing. We not targeting. That we are not addressing the need of. I have a lot of young men at risk, and not only did we buy stuff for little kids and for the teenagers, but we made the parishioners, they baked some cookies for the young men. So, and I was like, this is for the young men. And I wanted to make sure that we had something for them as well, because outreach is, we cannot forget the ones that are underrepresented. And so that's my focus and my mission at Triangle Park Community Center, is try to meet the needs of everyone, don't leave anyone behind.
Absolutely. And the Everything Jersey City office is also in the Greenville area. So it's a place that I used to go every day to work. And it's a area of Jersey City that we're very passionate about. And we really appreciate the work that you're doing there as well.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any kind of experience with that? All right, I will move on to our last question. So each of you has a unique role that provides different resources to the Jersey City community. How have you had to pivot and adapt to the pandemic this year to continue to accomplish your missions? I can definitely say, for one example, for Councilman and Councilwoman, you started this during the pandemic. So in the beginning, there really wasn't a pivot there, but you guys kind of did pivot because you're still here for the holiday season. So it's something that you guys continued and realized there was a need for. So I know that question was more geared towards the organizations here in Jersey City that were before the pandemic, but I still think it still applies to you guys as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely I think the pandemic, everything that I think both of us try to do, work with constituents, provide services, work on legislation, all of it continued, but it did have to adjust for the pandemic. It had to adjust for how do you make the connections virtually? How do you reach people that, used to be able to physically contact, and now that's not safe. And seniors was a big piece of that. Obviously, we're in a little bit of a different phase now, but, going indoors with seniors is not a safe thing. So how do you reach them today in a way that you couldn't for pre-pandemic? So it's just figuring out how do you maintain that same mission and service, but do so in the midst of new safety regulations. So we're lucky we have a great kind of team in place that has sort of been helping me be able to do that. But certainly it's been an adjustment, and we're still adjusting. Now the vaccine's coming, and that's part of both of our jobs is how do we ensure a safe and successful rollout of that. Even if we're not the people designing the plan, we are messengers from the government to hopefully ensure that what we're doing is safe and gets us back to normal as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that I would add to that is that, it still was a little bit of a pivot, because in doing this outreach to seniors, we were able to help expand the number of seniors that are on Meals on Wheels, kind of understand what their needs are, finding out that there's actually, grandparents who are taking care of their grandchildren, and getting them registered for things like Pandemic SNAP, which gave families more money, and they also raised the the accessibility level. So helping them understand their needs, but also for a senior who maybe wanted to go out and take a stroll down the block with her mask on, connecting her to somebody. Actually, I sent somebody over to the West Side Community Fridge because they had their home carried with them. They wanted to get them out of the house, so I was able to direct them that way. And I think that what has been so great about seeing the way that people are doing the work and pivoting is just how resourceful people are, and they're just like, I want to try this, and we're like, okay, let's go do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think has been really great about this, because I say this all the time, there's a lot of great people doing a lot of great work in the city, and not everybody's connected. So in slowing down a little bit, it's actually opened up doors to make stronger connections.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also we've been able to even have more FaceTime between organizations and people, because we are home and we don't have to drive anywhere to go to a meeting. We can just say, oh, hey, do you want to meet? Hey, we're on Zoom. Here, log in, let's go. And so, I mean, I've met more people during the pandemic here in Jersey City and talking about different initiatives and organizations than I did maybe in 6 months when I was working in the office. So there is definitely a little bit of a silver lining there. Yeah, anybody else want to say how they maybe had to pivot during the pandemic?
Well, CASA ran out of the office on March 13th, and we had our major fundraiser all planned for March 26th. And I would say 95% of the work was done, and we lost that income. It was it's a big deal for us. And last year was the first year we were in the red, because we went out in the first, I guess, 3-4 months, and we bought Chromebooks. We did about $6,000 worth of grocery gift cards. We were doing whatever it took to get people functioning or helping them. We had one foster mom who I believe has 2 of her own children, had 3 of our girls. She had 5 girls in the home. She has asthma, and she was taking them all out on a Saturday morning to the laundromat. Well, what a bad idea that is. So we got her a washing machine. That's not what we do. We don't get washing machines, but this woman really needed it. And I think that it was hearing what people needed and trying to respond to that. And it wasn't our mission. It wasn't what we did, but we did it. And one of the hardest things was not being able to get into the homes. We're doing sidewalk visits. The division was not able to go in until July, but they've had a lot of really, big issues with retirements, and people who have health issues, and it's hard. They're not operating the way they were. So it's really important for CASA to be there to see these kids, just to lay some eyes on them, even if it's 5 minutes. I mean, in Jersey City, you can stop on the sidewalk and talk to someone for 20 minutes and it's completely normal. So you can do a sidewalk visit with a kid. So it's trying to figure out how to get this done and just get it all out there. I think that, we did a summer activity thing. We did a wish list right away on Amazon. We wanted activities for them. We wanted games. We wanted sidewalk chalk. We wanted anything to keep these kids engaged. And I think that we had some good results, but I think the need is so great. You go home every day and you feel good about what you did, but you always know that there's more you could have done. And I think that every day there's a new challenge, but every day there's a new hero. And some of the people,
there's a new answer.
It's amazing. I had a thing today. We needed to get gifts picked up from Ani Rahman. She did a great thing for us all over. The noodle place on Newark and down at Harborside. If you brought a holiday gift for a child, you got a bowl of ramen. But we couldn't get the gifts picked up today. So I called our volunteer and he ran out at the last minute and brought them in. And then the division came in and got them. So all this happened like in an hour. But it's just that there are lots of heroes out there. We just have to know how to reach them. And also, more importantly, to always thank them and acknowledge them.
Absolutely.
Because they're great people.
Absolutely. Anyone else?
I would like to say that thank you very much. Personal thank you to Councilman Solomon for reaching out to the Triangle Park during Thanksgiving. We have for the third year, we give out Thanksgiving meals on Thanksgiving Day. And I really appreciate your constant, support and reaching out. And that really helps. For us, what has kept us moving forward is the heroes, like Beverly has said, and also thinking outside the box and doing a lot of partnerships with different organizations. Like I said, we have a youth program. A lot of the kids, they got tired of wanting to be at home. So I have about 8 to 15 kids that are very close to me who wanted to do outdoors. So I reached out and teamed with Team Wilderness, and they provided them a hiking trip. Over the summer, we also did kayaking, which normally a week's kayaking is $600 per kid. Well, they got some funding and they were able to include some of the kids from the Greenville area. So things like that, partnerships are really, really important. And I believe that going forward, that is what is going to keep us, meeting the needs of the community.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming on and letting us have these conversations and make these connections and let the Jersey City residents and our readers and our viewers be able to know where they can volunteer and donate. So before we sign off, I'll just let each of you talk about what specifically Jersey City residents can do for you. And I also want to let you know that our wonderful social media coordinator, Adia, is going to be entering in any links or websites that you guys mentioned into the comments below. So if you are interested in donating or getting more information on a place that you can facilitate some holiday cheer, you can just go into the comments and Adia will have it there for you. Let's see here. Anyone can start, really. Beverly, do you want to go ahead and talk about CASA and what Jersey City can do for you guys coming?
Well, people can go to our website. They can donate gift cards to teenagers. They can make donations. But I'd really like to thank our 2 council people who are there, who are with us tonight, because we have been the recipient for years and years of CDBG funding. And that has made the biggest difference to us. It's a lifeline. We work really closely with the Department of Community Development. It's excellent. Also, the health department. You guys just do a great job. We had a foster mom this year who really needed to get a COVID test. And we were able to do it in Jersey City. What you have offered is phenomenal to the employees working in Jersey City. I mean, I think it's an incredibly responsive government that you have. And I want to really thank you sincerely for all that you've done. I think everyone in Jersey City is aware this is not a city of elitists. These are people who live in these neighborhoods and know what's going on. And I think you do a great job. Thank you.
Fantastic. And if you guys are interested in donating to CASA, you can check the links below. Beverly did mention earlier, as so did Monica, that teens seem to be kind of left out when it comes to the donation of toy drives. So if there is something, you can donate gift cards, and you can follow the link below that Adia puts in. On that note, let me move on, Monica, since we were just talking about your toy drive and the teens as well. I'll let you go ahead and say what Jersey City can do to help you guys.
Yes, on the website, on the Triangle Park cc.org website, we have a donation button. They can donate through there. One of our programs, the North Porch, which services the young moms, kids that are infants up to age number 5. You can donate specifically to the North Porch and we have a GoFundMe page for the North Porch. And if you have time and want to, come in and help us donate, help us volunteer, you are able to volunteer by coming to the center. You can reach us at our phone number, 201-994-4302, or you can just stop by 247 Old Bergen Road.
Amazing. Reverend Keon, with Black Men United, I know you guys have a toy drive coming up, so let's let Jersey City know how they can help facilitate and get some toys over to you guys.
So yeah, we have a toy drive that we're co-sponsoring with Hudson and Essex County this Wednesday. And how we do things in terms of donations, you can follow us at Black Men United on Instagram, and we will have our distribution team coordinate with you a scheduled date for pickup. And we also have a clothing drive this Sunday. So if you have any donations in terms of items, we can coordinate with you via our Instagram page. And we have someone that's checking our DMs 24 hours. If it's financially, all of our Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all of that is Black Men United 1. And you can donate there. And also in terms of we try to give resources at these events, because while we're giving away toys and clothes, people may not have toothpaste, people may not have deodorant, may not have sanitary napkins for women. So if you can also donate those things, masks, hand sanitizers, that's 99% alcohol, hand warmers, shoe warmers, socks, gloves, toothpaste, deodorant, new packaged like underwear. Please do not wash your own. You can donate that and we can pick it up. So definitely that's the easiest way to donate to us.
Absolutely. And it just keeps getting repeated throughout the course of this. Basic necessities, right? We need basic necessities for our neighbors. Right. So thank you so much. Councilman Solomon and Councilwoman Prince-Aray, you guys can tell us about how people can get involved with the Holiday Cards to Seniors program, because we have time. Everybody out there watching, we have time for this.
Yeah, I assume it's on both our social media links. I'll let the councilwoman say in a second, but for me, it's Solomon for JC. It's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And I'll tell you 2 amazing things that can happen if you write a senior card. First is you might find a lifelong friend. Some of the folks that started writing senior cards in April have kept up a correspondence and have even had phone dates. So you might find your new best friend in Jersey City. And the second thing is you might help a senior. We had a senior who got the senior card, then had a problem with their EBT card, and didn't know who to reach, and so actually called or wrote their senior card pen pal, and then she connected us back to the office, and we were able to solve the problem. So you never know how that human connection may result in a really positive result. So sign up on both of myself and Councilman Prince-Aray's social medias.
Yep, and mine is Mira4 or Mira Prinzeri for JC if you're on Facebook. And just again, to sort of echo what the councilman said, everybody likes getting cards, right? Every time I come home and I get something in the mail, you know, it's thoughtful. Somebody took the time to write something, pen and paper, drop it in the mail and send it to you. And those little acts are sometimes the thing that can turn somebody's day around. And we've gotten a lot of really great feedback around that, you know, and I think that, again, it's sort of, you know, especially with seniors and, you know, many of them grew up with pen pals and that's how they met people across the United States. I mean, when I was little, I had a pen pal that lived all the way, you know, across the country in a place that I would never even go to until I was an adult. So, you know, it really just, it makes a big difference. And now that the Postal Service is working a little bit better, people are getting cards in a timely fashion. And if you don't have time to sit down and write a holiday card before the end of the year, please continue to reach out. You can wish them the 2021 cards like I've done when my Christmas cards have been late. They turn into New Year's cards. Okay. The fact of the matter is just keep doing it. And to the people who are with us, thank you guys for the work that you're doing. It's really important. And we see you and know that we're, you know, connecting residents to you. So if you know, for residents, reach out. I know Councilman Solomon, myself, we both have lists of organizations that we are happy to share. Tell us what you want to do and we will direct you to the resources.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the other thing is our seniors don't have or maybe aren't as savvy with social media. So while others of us are sitting here and we are on Facebook or Instagram and able to talk to our friends, the seniors don't really have that. So that's why these cards and creating these pen pal relationships are really important. But again, guys, thank you so much. And Tatiana, I'd love for you to tell us how we can help you with Westside Community Fridge. And also, I know that the Heights has a fridge now and Greenville has a fridge now. Yeah. So if you don't live in the West Side, please go check out the Heights Community Fridge, go check out the Greenville Community Fridge, all the same concepts. But this idea was kind of sparked by Tatiana right here. So she's the best person to tell us how we can help her.
Yeah, so I'm Westside on Instagram. I'm a Westside Community Fridge, and the Greenville Fridge is Greenville Community Fridge, and the Jersey City Heights is JC Heights Community Fridge. And I often in the stories, I'll link to them whenever they're doing something, whenever they're posting, I'm always like shouting them out just so that everyone kind of gets to know all of them and spreads the love and brings food. So the best way to help all of our fridges out is to bring food. So the thing with food is that before coronavirus, food insecurity has been an issue. It will continue to be an issue throughout the holidays, past the holidays, until we have a systemic change where people are able to get better benefits that better correlate with their families' lifestyles and needs. Food insecurity will always be an issue. So the best way to help is to always bring food, non-perishable food. All of our fridges, we don't accept raw meat. We prefer not to deal with that. So if you can bring not raw meat, but non-perishable items. Non-perishables
are great. We love fresh produce.
Fresh produce, fresh fruits and vegetables. People love that. People love to cook with fresh items. So bring that. And if you can't bring that, we always accept like hygiene items. So lots of sanitary pads, tampons, toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, socks. These are all things that people need. And if you can't do that, then you can always donate via Venmo or Cash App to Westside Community Fridge. And I go to the grocery store every day, pretty much, to kind of make up for the food that's, when it runs out. So that's another way to help with the fridge. But the fridge is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can come at 3 a.m. and drop off stuff. And it'll be well used.
Absolutely. And two things. I definitely know that when people can drop things off to you, that if they can, wipe the refrigerator down or just help out a little bit, that's always really, really welcome.
Yes.
And
Wiping down the fridge, also breaking down boxes, just making sure that the general area is neat. I try to keep it very neat and clean, so that people don't get the impression that they can treat it any kind of way, because it is in front of my home. So I want people to respect the fridge and respect the neighborhood and just have some pride in something that's in their neighborhood. So there's so many different ways to contribute. Even if you don't bring food, you can just wipe down the fridge.
Absolutely. And Adia will drop a link below. The reason that I know so much about the Westside Community Fridge is I had the pleasure of interviewing you when you started the fridge, and Everything Jersey City did a really great piece and video on you guys. So Adia will go ahead and drop the link for that video in below. And that actually has a lot of great and helpful information on how to donate as well. So I think we covered everything, guys, and I'm really excited. I'm really happy that we were all able to come together today and tonight and share this information and make these connections. And I'm just, Everything Jersey City is just so thankful that you guys took the time out of your day to come here and have these conversations with us tonight and share with the community. So I just want to say thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
Thanks,
having
Leslie.
us, and thank
Thank
you
you.
for everyone here who's doing incredible work for Jersey City.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, this video will be available on Everything Jersey City's Facebook, so feel free to share it. And please donate and volunteer, and let's help out these organizations and let's help out our neighbors. Bye, guys.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. Bye-bye.